Explore authentic Puglia, where every corner tells a story and the views will enchant you. Follow us and subscribe to the canal to discover new fascinating places to visit every day. Molfetta? How to get? To reach Molfetta, there are several options available. If you decide to travel by plane, the closest airport is Bari Wojtyla, located about 20 kilometers from Molfetta. From the airport, you can take a train or bus that will take you directly to your destination. If you prefer the train, Molfetta is well connected via the Italian rail network. Regional and intercity trains connect the city with the main Italian locations, making travel comfortable and stress-free. If you choose to travel by car, you can reach Molfetta via the A14 Adriatica motorway. Just take the Molfetta exit and follow the signs to the city center, enjoying the Apulian landscape along the way. Origins and Roman period. The origins of Molfetta are ancient and probably date back to pre-Roman times. Archaeological excavations have revealed the presence of settlements dating back to the Bronze Age. During the Roman period, Molfetta, then known as Respa, was a small fishing and farming village. The Middle Ages are a crucial period for the history of Molfetta. The city began to grow significantly under the Byzantines and then under the Normans. In the 12th century, Molfetta became one of the most important cities in Puglia thanks to its port, which was a focal point for maritime trade with the East. During this period, important religious and defensive structures were built, including the Cathedral of San Corrado, which is one of the most notable examples of Apulian Romanesque architecture. In the 13th century, Molfetta came under the control of the Swabians. Emperor Frederick II of Swabia greatly appreciated this region and contributed to its prosperity. Subsequently, with the fall of the Swabians, the city came under Angevin and then Aragonese domination. These changes of domination influenced the architecture and urban organization of Molfetta, with the construction of new fortifications and the expansion of the port. During the Renaissance, Molfetta experienced a period of cultural and economic flourishing. The city was enriched with noble palaces and works of art. However, the city also had to face incursions from Saracen pirates, which forced the population to strengthen its defenses. In the 17th and 18th centuries, Molfetta was hit by various plague epidemics and earthquakes, which caused significant damage. Despite this, the city managed to recover and continued to develop as an important commercial and agricultural center. In the 19th century, Molfetta actively participated in the Risorgimento movements, which led to the unification of Italy. During this period, important modernization works were carried out, such as the expansion of the port and the construction of new infrastructure. The 20th century was marked by 2 world wars that caused suffering and destruction, but also by a period of post-war reconstruction and economic growth. Molfetta became an important center for fishing and industry, with one of the busiest ports in the region. Today, Molfetta is a lively city that preserves its ancient traditions and historical heritage. The historic center, with its churches, noble palaces, and narrow streets, is a testimony to the rich history of the city. The port, even today, is a central point for the local economy, while religious celebrations and traditional holidays continue to attract visitors and keep Molfetta's cultural identity alive. The historic center of Molfetta is a fascinating labyrinth of narrow streets, alleys, and squares that reflect the ancient medieval layout of the city. This picturesque neighborhood is located on a peninsula that juts out into the Adriatic Sea, creating a unique and evocative atmosphere. The white stone houses, ancient churches, and historic buildings give the center a distinctive and irresistible character. One of the ideal starting points for exploring the historic center is the Cathedral of San Corrado, a jewel of Apulian Romanesque architecture. This impressive cathedral, with its twin towers dominating the view, is a symbol of the city and offers a fascinating insight into its history. Walking in the surrounding area, you can visit the Church of San Pietro, located in the heart of the historic center. This Romanesque church, with its interior rich in frescoes and Baroque decorations, is another architectural treasure that deserves attention. The clock tower, built in the 13th century, is one of the most iconic structures in the historic center. Located in Piazza Municipio, The tower has long been a symbol of the city, and today continues to fascinate visitors with its majestic presence. Right next door is Palazzo Giovane, an impressive 17th century building that currently houses Molfetta's town hall. Some rooms of the palace are open to the public, offering a glimpse into the historic interiors and works of art preserved within. Piazza Municipio is the beating heart of the historic center, a meeting place for residents and home to local events and markets. Many of the main streets of the neighborhood branch off from here, each with its own character and stories to tell. Walking through these streets, it is possible to come across the ancient Jewish ghetto, an area that still retains the charm of historic homes and narrow alleys, telling the story of the Jewish community of Molfetta. The port of Molfetta is a lively and fascinating place. Here, the fishing boats return loaded with the day's catch, offering a spectacle of color and activity that fascinates visitors. The scent of the sea and fresh fish fills the air, inviting anyone who passes by to taste the local delicacies in the numerous restaurants and trattorias that dot the port area. In the heart of the historic center, inside the Episcopal Seminary, there is the Diocesan Museum. This museum houses an extraordinary collection of sacred art, including paintings, sculptures, and liturgical artifacts that tell the rich religious history of Molfetta. Each piece on display offers a fascinating glimpse into the past, allowing visitors to better understand the city's cultural and spiritual heritage. Just outside the town center, Pulo di Molfetta represents one of the natural wonders of the area. This large karst sinkhole, surrounded by lush vegetation, is the ideal place for those who love nature and excursions. Exploring Pulo means immersing yourself in a unique landscape, where the silence of nature is interrupted only by the singing of birds and the rustling of leaves. Excursions here offer the opportunity to discover a rich and varied ecosystem, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The Cathedral of San Corrado, located in the heart of the historic center of Molfetta, is one of the most relevant examples of Romanesque architecture in Puglia. Its construction began in the 12th century and ended at the beginning of the 13th century. Dedicated to Saint Conrad of Bavaria, the city's patron saint, the cathedral has housed his relics since 1785, the year in which they were moved here. Inside, the cathedral has 3 naves, separated by columns and round arches. The central nave is covered by a wooden trussed ceiling, while the side naves have cross vaults. The simplicity of the interior is interrupted only by the capitals of the columns, decorated with plant and animal motifs typical of Romanesque art, which add a touch of refinement to the austere environment. Below the main altar is the crypt, one of the oldest elements of the cathedral. This evocative place, with its columns and capitals, demonstrates the mastery of medieval craftsmen. The crypt, together with the relics of Saint Conrad of Bavaria, attracts numerous pilgrims every year. Saint Conrad, a German nobleman who renounced his wealth to dedicate himself to religious life, is venerated in the city, and his relics are preserved in a special chapel. The cathedral also houses some very valuable works of art, including frescoes, paintings, and sculptures. Although many of the original works have been lost over the centuries, those remaining testify to the artistic richness of the church and its central role in the cultural history of the city. Over the centuries, the Cathedral of San Corrado has undergone numerous renovations and restorations to preserve its structure and artistic heritage. During the 18th and 19th centuries, significant work was carried out to consolidate the foundations and restore the damaged parts. More recent interventions have aimed to preserve the architectural and artistic integrity of the building, ensuring that it remains an enduring symbol of Molfetta's history and culture. Molfetta is a city rich in art and traditions, which are reflected in its celebrations, festivals, and local craftsmanship. One of the most anticipated and heartfelt events by the community is Holy Week. During this period, the streets of the city are filled with evocative processions that recall the Passion of Christ. The faithful participate with devotion, bringing statues and simulacra of the saints in an atmosphere full of spirituality and emotion. The streets lit by candles, religious songs, and the sound of bands create an experience that deeply involves both residents and visitors. Another highlight of the year is the Patronal Festival of San Corrado, which is celebrated at the end of July. The city pays homage to its patron saint with a series of events that attract people from across the region. The celebrations include solemn processions, where the statue of San Conrad is carried through the streets, followed by a procession of faithful and accompanied by the music of local bands. The evenings are animated by concerts, shows, and stalls, and the event ends with a fireworks display that lights up the summer sky of Molfetta, leaving everyone in suspense. The art and tradition of Molfetta are also expressed through its rich local craftsmanship. The city is famous for stone and ceramic processing, traditions that are handed down from generation to generation. Walking through the streets of the historic center, it is possible to visit the artisan workshops where skilled masters work with passion and skill. Here, visitors can watch artists at work, creating beautiful ceramic objects and stone sculptures. Each piece is unique and represents a fragment of the history and culture of Molfetta. Buying a souvenir in one of these shops means taking with you a piece of this fascinating city, a tangible memory of its ancient artisan traditions. What to eat? In Molfetta, cuisine is a sensorial experience that reflects the soul of Puglia, with intense flavors and genuine ingredients. Among the most emblematic dishes, orecchiette occupy a place of honor. These small and characteristic discs of pasta, expertly handmade, are often served with turnip greens, a combination that enhances the authentic and rustic taste of the Apulian tradition. The simplicity of the ingredients combines with the art of preparation, creating a dish that is much more than a simple meal. It is a journey into the flavors of the earth. Fresh fish is another protagonist of the Molfetta table. Being a port city, Molfetta offers an incredible variety of freshly caught fish. One of the most popular delicacies is raw seafood, a dish that celebrates the freshness of fish through its simplicity. Savoring raw seafood means tasting raw fish fillets, seasoned only with a drizzle of olive oil and a few drops of lemon. Every bite contains the pure flavor of the sea, an experience that immediately brings you back to the waves and the sea breeze. You cannot visit Molfetta without tasting the focaccia from Bari. This soft delicacy, topped with juicy cherry tomatoes, black olives, and a generous sprinkling of oregano, is a true delight for the palate. The focaccia is cooked until it reaches a perfect crunch, which hides a soft and tasty interior. Enjoying it hot, freshly baked, is a pleasure that awakens the senses and offers a moment of pure culinary joy. Finally, desserts are the finishing touch of every Molfetta meal, and among these, bocconati occupy a special place, especially during the holidays. Bocconati or buccanati are short crust pastry with a filling of grape jam or mustard, enriched with cocoa, chopped almonds, and spices such as cinnamon and vanilla. Each family can have its own variation, adding or modifying some ingredients. Molfetta in the world. The Molfetta communities in the world are a significant phenomenon, the result of the waves of migration that have seen many inhabitants of Molfetta move abroad in search of better economic and life opportunities. This diaspora has created vibrant Molfetta communities in different parts of the world, particularly in North America, South America, and Europe. In the United States, one of the largest Molfetta communities is located in Hoboken, New Jersey. Here, immigrants from Molfetta brought with them their traditions, their culture, and their cuisine, helping to create a lively Italian enclave. Religious celebrations, such as the Feast of San Corrado, continue to be observed with great devotion, keeping alive the traditions of the land of origin. During these holidays, the streets of Hoboken are filled with processions, music, and typical Apulian flavors, creating an atmosphere reminiscent of Molfetta. In Argentina, Buenos Aires is home to a large Molfetta community. Immigrants have left a profound mark on the local culture, integrating the traditions of Molfetta with those of Argentina. The Molfetta associations and clubs organize cultural, culinary, and religious events that help maintain strong ties with the city of origin. The cuisine, in particular, represents an important point of contact. The orecchiette, the focaccia from Bari, and the typical Apulian desserts have also become familiar to Argentine palates. In Europe, significant communities of Molfetta people are found in Switzerland and Germany. Here, emigration is often linked to work in industry and services. Even in these countries, emigrants have created associations that act as a point of reference for new arrivals, offering support and organizing events that celebrate Molfetta's traditions. The patronal celebrations and festivals are crucial moments of aggregation, where the people of Molfetta can meet and share memories and traditions of their homeland. The Molfetta communities around the world are an example of how traditions and culture can cross borders and resist the passage of time. These communities not only keep the customs of Molfetta alive, but enrich them with the influences of their adopted countries, creating a unique and precious cultural fusion. Anyone who visits Molfetta cannot help but be involved in its vibrant atmosphere. The ancient walls, narrow alleys, and welcoming squares are animated by a continuous flow of life and activity. Every event and every artisan workshop are witnesses of a living and pulsating culture, ready to share its richness and warmth with anyone. Molfetta is a place where the past and the present meet harmoniously, offering those who explore it an unforgettable experience, made up of discoveries, emotions, and precious memories. In every corner of the city, you can breathe history, perceive culture, and experience a tradition which, over the centuries, has managed to maintain its extraordinary vitality. Thank you for following us on this journey through the wonderful city of Molfetta. We hope you found the history, culture, and traditions we shared with you interesting. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes. Leave us a comment with your impressions and suggestions on other destinations in Puglia that you would like to explore with us. See you in the next video.